Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Press the Action Button podcast. As always, I'm your host, Josh Barber, and with me is my good friend Eric. Say hello to everybody.
Hello.
And we're here to wrap up E3. We did our E3 predictions and got some things right, got some things wrong. Let's just go through the conferences in order, shall we? Let's start with Bethesda.
Yeah.
Now, I thought Bethesda's showing overall was fairly disappointing because there wasn't much new there.
No, it was pretty much what I expected. I mean, the big one for me was the announcement of Skyrim remaster. But the rumor had leaked a couple days, before that, and everybody knew they had actually did it already when they were, using the Fallout engine to go to the next gen console. So
yeah, we all knew the Skyrim remaster was coming. The one thing that nobody knew was coming, and it got me excited, was there's going to be a new Quake.
Yeah, but isn't it only for PC?
I honestly do not know the answer. They didn't say at the conference. They just.
I want to say that it's for PC.
I think not bringing a new Quake to consoles would be kind of foolish, but
I had read something where and I could be totally wrong. However, I was pretty sure I read an article where they said that the consoles are being considered for it, but right now it's for PC.
Yeah, I've heard that a lot of Quake fans are kind of pissed off at this. I'm like, well, all we got was a CGI trailer. We really don't know much about this. We just know there's a new Quake, and it's going to apparently be in line with Quake 3, and I absolutely love Quake 3. So what is there to be angry about? Like, people get pissed off at the stupidest shit, which we'll talk about that more when we get to Sony's conference, because there's one thing that pissed a lot of people off that they showed.
Yeah, I'm actually looking here. It is for PC.
Oh, it's only for PC?
Yeah.
That's kind of a shame, because I would love to see it come to consoles. They showed off more of their card game, which I really don't have an interest in. If I want to play card games, I'll actually physically collect cards. And I have in the past. I used to play Magic the Gathering, so I mean, it's cool if you want to do that, but digital card games like that really don't have much of an appeal to me personally.
No, it's not my thing. I don't play Magic or any of that. That's just not for me.
Yeah, I played Magic back when I was in high school. It was a long ass time ago. But I have not played it in a long time. So that really didn't interest me. They showed off some Fallout DLC that seemed to, like, it mostly just expanded on the world building elements of it, where you create, like...
Yeah, there was, like, contraptions and stuff. It looked really fun, but they also showed the Nuka World, which they said is a huge add-on. It's a giant theme park set in Fallout 4, which, I mean, that sounds completely fucking awesome, so I'm 100% in for that.
Yeah, it does sound awesome, but I was kind of hoping for a new Elder Scrolls.
Yeah, me too. That was my secret holdout, and I know Todd Howard, after the conference, said that a new Elder Scrolls is being worked on. However, the sucky part, he said it's many years off, as they have two other properties that they're going to do before, and both are the size and scope of Fallout and Elder Scrolls, so it's going to be a long time before we get a new one.
Yeah, and I really think with the next Elder Scrolls game, they should go over to id Software and go, hey, you guys have this badass engine. Can we use it?
I'm curious what they'll do for it. I mean, obviously, I don't even want to try and think about it because it's so fucking far off to even try and think about that game.
Yeah, but let's be honest. The engine powering the new Doom is much better than the engine powering Fallout 4.
Well, it's Bethesda. They're always going to be a little, a little clunky. But
Yeah, it's always going to be
however,
janky and buggy.
Skyrim Remaster looks incredible.
It does. And the really cool thing about the Skyrim Remaster is it's bringing mods for Skyrim to the console.
All the DLC plus mods, which should be a blast to play.
Yeah, that's really cool. So that's what's got me excited about that is they're bringing the mods to consoles, and I think that's cool. They spent a long time showing off the new Dishonored.
Yeah, they spent too long on it.
And yeah, it looks like Dishonored. The part where you're jumping between two different timelines or whatever was pretty cool, though.
Yeah.
But it really just reminds me of the first Dishonored, and I wasn't that big of a fan of it. It was okay, but I felt like it had an identity crisis, you know?
Right.
Like, it wants to be a stealth game, and then it gives you all these cool toys to play with that have nothing to do with stealth. So, it's like it really didn't know fully or commit to what it wanted to be. If that makes any sense.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't play it, so it's hard for me to really judge it.
I beat it, and I wasn't blown away by it. A lot of other people were, and they'll be excited for this game, I'm sure, but it didn't really blow my mind.
Yeah.
I think that's all they talked about.
That's pretty much it, yeah.
They went out and talked about the Elder Scrolls Online, which I personally don't care about because I'm not an MMO guy, but they went out there and did they even announce anything for it, or did they just go, yeah, it still exists?
They announced more expansion for it. I'm trying to remember exactly what was. I know they announced more expansions.
They announced some new maps and whatnot for Doom, which I think is smart. You just released this game that's getting rave reviews and rave high praise from fans as well. Go on your E3 stage and remind people, hey, this exists. You can go pick it up. Everybody says it's awesome, you know?
Yeah.
Bethesda did spend a little too much time stroking their own dick, though.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not really surprised, but
they're like, look how well reviewed everything we've ever done is. You know, that's what they did.
I kind of think they've earned it, but
yeah, I just thought they spent a little too much time doing it.
Yeah. Pretty much them.
EA, you want to talk about EA?
Yeah. So. EA was one of the worst conferences I've in the history of E3.
Yeah, it was. EA conferences usually drag and are pretty boring and stuff, but even then, like, they had some stuff that just flat out disappointed me. Like, they had this video of a bunch of developers going, "Yep, we're working on a Star Wars game," and didn't announce anything.
Yeah, it was basically. They had nothing to show. They shouldn't even have had a fucking conference. They should have just showed some trailers, you know, something, and then maybe had a couple booths at E3. But they literally had nothing. I mean, talking about Star Wars games, Mass Effect. That's a 2019 game at the earliest.
Yeah, they went out and talked about Mass Effect, and basically all they did was have developers go, "Yep, we're working on a new Mass Effect."
Well, like. We knew Titanfall 2 we knew about it, so yeah, they showed it and it was awesome, but everyone was like, okay, yeah, we expected that, you know.
I'm pretty happy that it has a single player campaign.
Me too. I thought the first one, and I really got into playing it online. I had a lot of fun with it because the Titans themselves are just so fucking cool, but now it actually has a single player campaign, and we'll see if it's like the 2 to 3 hour, kind of basic thing
that they did when they were developing Call of Duty. I hope it's more significant than that.
It looked really good.
They showed off a trailer for Battlefield 1, and they didn't even have an on-stage demonstration for Battlefield 1.
It looks friggin' awesome. I mean, like the Zeppelin coming down and all that. Like, I'm really curious about it. We'll see.
Yeah, but I was just like, this is coming out this year, and you don't even have an on-stage demonstration of it. So you barely have Mass Effect. You had so little Star Wars that it wasn't worth mentioning. You didn't show off gameplay of your biggest game upcoming, which is Battlefield 1. And you had a bunch of sports games that nobody in the audience cares about. And I get that you have to show off the sports games because that makes you a shitload of money, and you want the people who are fans of the sports games to know what's new coming to them and stuff like that. So you have to have it.
Oh, of course, they have to. I mean, they make a fucking ludicrous amount of money on those games, but it's a typical EA. It's like they're gonna fucking spend a lot of time on sports games, and no one cares.
Yeah. So day one of E3 was actually fairly disappointing, I think, because Bethesda didn't have all that much new. Quake looks awesome. The remaster of Skyrim looks awesome, but we already knew that was coming. Other than that, they showed off a bunch of stuff they showed off last year. And then EA was just flat out disappointing, period.
It was abysmal. I mean, other than seeing gameplay for Titanfall, which really looked cool, I mean, it's just talking. I don't understand how you get the rights to Star Wars and you put out one game that wasn't well received. I liked it, but
yeah, a lot of people didn't.
It's like, man, talk about just dropping the fucking ball.
Yeah. If you don't have anything to show off, don't try to show something off.
Yeah, just don't do it. I mean, that was a classic case of having absolutely nothing and trying to fill. Well, how long did it go for? It was over an hour, right?
Yeah, it wasn't as long as Ubisoft's. No. Thank God, because Ubisoft was 2 goddamn hours.
Well, they could have cut that game out at the end and saved everybody the trouble of having to watch it.
They could have cut out a lot of stuff in that one, and it would have been better. But we'll get to that after Microsoft, because the next day started off with Microsoft, and I will straight up say this, Microsoft's best conference in years.
They absolutely killed it, and I've been going back and forth on who I like, whose conference I like better between Sony and Microsoft, and that's saying a lot because Microsoft fucking killed it this year.
Yeah. After day one of E3, I was convinced that we were going to get the doldrum kind of in between year, and then Microsoft came up on stage and they're like, yeah, we got some new hardware, and we have a shit pot full of games coming for it.
The first thing they show is that just unbelievably beautiful Xbox One Slim. It's just like, oh my god.
It looks so much, it's a much nicer looking console than the original, which looks like a goddamn VCR, you know? The original Xbox One is big and bulky, and nothing against the console itself, but it's ugly.
Yeah. And I love that thing, but that console itself, yeah, it's a big one. But this one, I mean, it's even got the built-in, so you don't have to power brick. It looks really, really slick.
Yeah, and they say it's a bit more powerful, and they didn't go into specifics on that. They just said you'll have.
Slightly. It does it does 4K, and it does like HDR for colors. So like that stuff, it'll be a little bit, but it really won't be noticeable. Plus, if you're not playing on a 4K TV or anything 4K ready, you're not gonna know.
Yeah, and I don't have a 4K TV. I've got a 1080p TV.
Yeah, same here.
And I like my 1080p TV. It's gorgeous. I don't see the need to upgrade to a 4K, at least not right now.
Yeah, no. The Xbox is. I know it comes in 3 different. It's there's a 500 gigabyte, a 1 terabyte, and then a 2 terabyte special edition. It's $399. But the thing that they announced at the end of the show is what's not going to get me to buy the Slim, because I'm waiting for something else. But we'll get to that.
Yeah. they they showed off a lot of good, interesting looking games.
Well, they went right into Gears 4, which I think looks fucking incredible.
Yeah, it looks. I mean, didn't they have the older Marcus Phoenix in that too, with the beard and stuff?
At the end of the trailer, yeah, like his son walks in the door and Marcus is sitting there. I was pumping because Gears is one of my favorite game series of all time. So
yeah, what I'm wondering about Gears 4 is how the hell do you continue the story, because it ended with Gears 3. I mean, it was done as shit. So what is there to continue?
Well, I mean, I'm sure that they're probably more creative than I am, so I'm sure they came up with something cool.
Yeah. That was...
play it, I don't care. Plus, it's coming out earlier than I thought.
Yeah, it looks cool, and it looks like a lot of fun. More of the same, but that's not necessarily a bad thing.
No, I could play that game till the day I die and be perfectly happy.
They showed off an indie game from the guys that did Limbo, and I don't know what it was. They didn't give us any information about it. They're just like, here's a trailer, it exists, it's called Inside or whatever.
Yeah, they showed one that looks like an old, like kind of old animated Disney cartoon.
Yeah, Cuphead.
Yeah,
Cuphead looks awesome.
Yeah, I can't fucking wait.
I love the animation in Cuphead. It's so gorgeous. And then they showed off one where people were taking happy pills and then they were hallucinating a much happier version of a dismal world that looked really cool.
Yeah. They showed, because I think right after Gears, I think they actually showed Forza Horizon 3, which looked pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm just not that big into racing games, but it was gorgeous.
It looked beautiful. I'm not like, I don't know. I mean, the new Gran Turismo looks pretty cool. The Forza one looks kind of interesting to me because you can go off-road, then you have like a supercar on the highway.
Yeah, they had like dune buggies, which was cool.
Yeah, like pretty fun. And they showed, man, I pretty remember, they showed
ReCore looks awesome.
Yeah. They showed... Now, the game I'm most excited for at the moment, well, maybe second most, but they showed Final Fantasy. But the demo just wasn't that good. They should pick something else.
Okay, ReCore looks awesome, though. It had kind of a 3D platformer look to it, which is cool. It had some action and platforming elements and all kinds of stuff. I love the look of the game. It's very cool. And what was the game you mentioned just before we... Oh, Final Fantasy 15.
Yeah, they could have picked a better demo for that.
Yeah, I was surprised to see it on Microsoft's stage.
Yeah, it's just that, I don't know, the part looked fun and I'm looking forward to it, but for some reason that demo just did not translate well to like a stage with a live audience.
Yeah, they spent some time on Minecraft, and it was like, hey, we still own Minecraft.
That was terrible. That went on too long.
It did go on too long.
It was like that someone can jump into your Minecraft world. I'm like, oh my god, I just don't fucking care.
Yeah, I was shocked to see John Carmack show up on their stage. And I was like, can you please get back to making game engines, because nobody does it better than you.
Yeah.
But he's doing Oculus Rift now. He's not working at id Software anymore, and the engine that powers Doom is his last gift to the world. And it's a good one. It's a very good one. Yeah, but
yeah. They showed, what was that game they showed? It was
Sea of Thieves?
We Happy Few.
Oh yeah, the one that looks like where you take happy pills to make the world not suck.
Yeah.
And then they beat the shit out of a rat, and they were looking at it like it was then that grossed me the fuck out too.
Yeah, that was weird.
With the kids eating the rat, and I was like, oh Jesus, no. And I get that it's supposed to shock, and it certainly did its job well. But I was still like, ugh, God, they're eating rat guts.
Yeah.
But
And Good.
It does look cool though.
Yeah. They showed, and then with CD Projekt Red, and I got really excited because I was like, oh, maybe something about Cyberpunk, even though they said it wouldn't be there, but then it was the Witcher card game, and I was like, ah.
Yeah, and I get why they're doing the Witcher card game because
fuck yeah, for sure.
People loved that card game in The Witcher 3. They loved that card game, and they begged for a standalone game. So I get why they're doing it. It just doesn't interest me personally.
Yeah, no, it's one of those like, okay, that's cool for whoever's going to enjoy it.
They announced a new Tekken game, which was kind of cool.
Yeah, I think you can actually get that, right?
I don't know if it's out now or not, but it has Akuma in it.
Yeah, I think you might be able to get it on for like gold for like a week.
So when I saw Akuma, and then I saw Heihachi, I was like, is this that Street Fighter Cross Tekken game that they were supposed to make and never did?
Right.
Has that resurfaced? But no, it was Tekken 7. So that was cool. Did they show... What stage was Injustice 2 on?
Fuck.
I know that's a multi-platform game.
Yeah, I can't remember. I know that. Well, let's see. I know because after Tekken, they showed Dead Rising 4.
They showed off a second Halo Wars, and we threw that out there as a joke, didn't we? Like we're like, they're gonna show off some Halo. You know they're gonna show off Halo.
Right. I couldn't hear what you were saying.
God damn! Why is the connection so choppy?
I don't know.
It gets better and then it gets worse. But they showed off a new Halo Wars.
Yeah, they showed that off, and that looked okay. But
didn't we bring that up as a joke?
Yeah.
Like we were like, man, they're going to show off Halo. You know they're going to show off something to do with Halo, and then we brought up Halo Wars, and I don't remember if we were joking about that or not. But Creative Assembly is developing it, and I hope to God they have a Covenant campaign, because that would be a good opportunity to dive into the Covenant, see how they operate, see how they work, their structure and everything. It would be a good opportunity to show off far more of them than you ever have before, and make them much more fleshed out of a bad guy.
It can be. I probably won't play it, but you know. I know they showed off a couple games before that. One was they showed the Dead Rising 4, which I'm very pumped about.
Yeah.
And then they showed Scalebound, which is fucking incredible.
Yeah, that looked like you remember Lair?
Yeah.
That looked like Lair but good.
Yeah.
I think that was my comment on it. This looks like Lair but good.
It really looks awesome. I think that looks great. And then they showed the demo for that Sea of Thieves, which looks pretty cool.
Yeah, Sea of Thieves looks like it could be the best thing that Rare has done since the Nintendo 64.
It needs to be. Yeah. I can't understand why they haven't made another Perfect Dark game, but...
And with Rare, though, I mean, it looks great, but they're going to have to prove themselves to me. It's been so long since they've made something truly great that they're just going to have to prove themselves to me.
It was another one of those where they, like, the game looked awesome, but then they have, like, the people playing it that are online, and they're the fakest fucking people you ever hear.
Yeah. I mean, it was slightly better than your typical Ubisoft demo, where you will have them shouting things like, "Tango down!" Nobody shouts "Tango down." They shout, "I shot the guy in the face."
Yeah.
Come on. We're talking about online gamers here. We don't use that terminology.
No, well, the way that they were like so excited about everything, it's like, all right.
Yeah, it always sounds fake though at E3, and
Well, it has, yeah, of course. They talked about State of Decay too. They showed that one. That was, I didn't play the first one.
Yeah, I have to wonder how many people are going to be interested in that Dead Rising 4, though. I mean, not that they don't look awesome, but people are just so sick to death of zombie games. So, are they going to be excited for these two? I wonder.
I think they will, because Dead Rising kind of has that. Because there were two big zombie games at E3 this year. Sony had one, but Dead Rising 2 still has kind of that fun, when you make him whatever fucking crazy ass weapon. Going crazy. It's such a perfect, Friday, Saturday night game.
Yeah. It's the perfect game to, get drunk and just let loose,
Yeah, plus they have Frank back in the game, and everybody wanted that.
Yeah. And that people like Frank so much they made a version of the second game with him in it.
Yeah.
What was it, Off the Record or something?
Yeah, something funny.
But yeah, they also showed off. They talked a lot about cross-platform gaming, where if you buy it on Xbox, you'll be able to play it on Windows 10. And they were very specific about that, Windows 10. So which made me wonder, are people hanging on to Windows 7 because they are worried about Windows 10 or whatever? Are they just shit out of luck, or what's the deal there?
Yeah, you won't be able to play them on Windows 7. It's only Windows 10.
That's kind of lame, but whatever.
They have to promote their own product how they can.
God damn it keeps getting choppy.
Yeah.
But it's cool that they're doing the cross-platform thing, though, and you'll be able to play the game on whichever platform you want.
Right. I wish they could at least do some kind of working relationship with Sony, because they said that they're willing to. They used Rocket League as an example and said, whoever wants to support it, that's where you can play it on. So.
Yeah. I want to play Rocket League. It looks like so much fun. Yeah, the very, very good show from them. Microsoft ended their conference on a note that I think confused a lot of people, which is they announced Project Scorpio, and they didn't really say this is a new console, and they didn't really say this is part of the Xbox One family. So I think a lot of people were expressing confusion as to what the Scorpio is.
Yeah, I mean, it was kind of one of those, everyone knows about it, so we're going to tell you a little bit about it. And I think it was pretty obvious that it was going to be a new, much more powerful Xbox.
Yeah, it sounds interesting, but the specs they're given for this thing, how the hell are they going to release this at any reasonable price point?
Yeah, oh my god, I don't know.
Is this thing going to be like $1,000? Because with the tech specs they're giving, the PC like this would probably cost about that.
It's ludicrously powerful. I mean, I'm very curious of the price point. I know that because I kind of wanted an Xbox One Slim. However, I'm going to wait. I'm going to pre-order the Scorpio as soon as it'll be available. But
yeah, just be prepared to potentially pay out the ass for it.
Oh, fuck it. I've been doing this shit for too long to not do it.
Yeah. So I'm not sure if that was the best way to end their conference, because people walked out with more questions about the Scorpio than answers.
Which I actually think that's a good thing, because now they're going to have people constantly searching, constantly thinking about it, waiting for the next announcement. I think it was a pretty smart move.
Yeah. After Microsoft, we got to Ubisoft, and oh my god, Ubisoft, did this have to be too fucking hours long.
Yeah, it was a long one.
It dragged because it was so goddamn long.
I know. I mean, I've dozed off a couple times. I'm kind of having trouble remembering what the fuck all they announced.
Watch Dogs 2, which we all knew was coming, and I don't care about, because Watch Dogs 1 is supposed to be disappointing. It's like a sequel that nobody asked for because nobody really liked the first game.
See, I'm on the other side of the fence because I didn't like the first game, but I am extremely excited about this one because I think it looks fucking awesome.
Yeah, I hope that they fix the problems with the first game and make this game the game we all thought we were going to get.
Ubisoft's kind of known for their sequels, so I think it has a good shot. I mean, I think the fact that they showed so much gameplay for it shows just how confident they are in it.
Yeah.
And everything, it looked like what I wished the first should have been. I mean, you know, you're talking hacking and tech, San Francisco. I mean, the fuck, come on, it's the first place that jumps to your mind.
Yeah, the Silicon Valley.
Yeah, it looks the graphics look great. The gameplay looks really fun. You can hack everything. I'm really, really, really excited.
They showed off a bunch of gameplay of what the fuck is the name of the Tom Clancy game they showed off?
Oh, Ghost Recon.
Yeah, Ghost Recon. It has a subtitle and it's escaping me.
It's a Wildlands.
Well, yeah, Wildlands. What'd you think of that one?
It looked really cool.
Yeah, I heard a lot of people saying that basically this does nothing that we haven't seen before, so I'm not really excited about it. But I thought it looked decent.
Yeah, I thought it looked fun. I like Ghost Recon series.
Let's see, what else did they show off? Aisha Tyler, who plays Lana Kane in Archer, a show I absolutely love, did the conference once again, which, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah, she's doing pretty good at it. I mean, it's kind of the same jokes every year.
Yeah, it is, but she's still a hell of a lot better than hosts they've had in the past. Yeah, Mr. Caffeine. You remember Mr. Caffeine?
Yeah, I don't think anybody could forget.
Oh, he was awful. So they found something that works okay, and they're just sticking with it. But Ubisoft, timing, for the love of God.
It just did not end.
It went on and on and on and on and on. They announced that they showed off a bunch of stuff from the Assassin's Creed movie, which I thought we weren't going to get any Assassin's Creed at all.
Yeah, I mean, behind the scenes footage of the movie, I cannot fathom why that was on stage at E3, but...
And because they feel so confident in this, they showed off a Watch Dog movie too.
Yeah, I guess they're doing that. And I was like, okay. Okay, I guess.
It's like, I don't personally care, but okay. Like, if it comes out and it's well reviewed, I might go see it. Otherwise, I've all but given up on video game movies ever being good.
It's got Jake Gyllenhaal in it. That kid's a fucking awesome actor, so I'll probably go see it. But...
Yeah. South Park. I love the fake out that they gave for South Park, where they're sitting there talking about crime statistics and what needs to be done. Yeah. You think this is going to be some kind of Tom Clancy game or something? And then bam, South Park, the fractured butthole. And they showed off a lot of it, and it actually looks awesome.
It does, yeah. Very cool. I never got the chance to play the first one.
Yeah, and they were making fun of both DC and Marvel so fucking hard in these trailers and gameplay footage.
I think it'll be really fun.
And what it is, if you guys didn't see the conferences, it takes like the idea with the first one was it's a fantasy setting and world kind of like Lord of the Rings, and they're making fun of that. This takes that kind of idea and does the exact same thing to superhero movies.
Yep.
Speaking of superhero movies, I saw Captain America Civil War, and it was fucking awesome.
Yeah, it's a great movie.
And Captain America was basically a libertarian in it, and that made me proud. But, what else did they show? They ended with, I don't know why they ended it with this, but it was an extreme sports game that has an open world for some strange reason.
Yeah, it's called Steep, and oh my god, that was boring.
Why does everything have to be open world nowadays? I get that that's the thing because Grand Theft Auto was a huge deal in this past generations and the Elder Scrolls as well. So, but why does everything have to be open world nowadays?
I mean, I'm cool with it as long as the game looks fun because I love open world. But I mean, it's like you're competing with your friend, and they always like everyone apparently who plays the Ubisoft games has like 18 million fucking online friends. I don't give a shit what my neighbor's fucking snowboarding score time is. Oh my god, I don't care.
Yeah. I see zero reason to take an extreme sports game with snowboarding and base jumping and all this kind of stuff and turn it into an open world game. It's not the kind of thing that's suited for it.
No, that was pretty disappointing.
And why, okay, I get you want to show off your new IP. Why close out your conference with it?
Well, last year, didn't they close Rainbow Six Siege?
I thought they closed out with Wildlands last year.
Pretty sure it was Rainbow Six. I think it was Rainbow Six. I could be wrong, but I remember because Rainbow Six didn't do that well, and I really don't think that Steep will either.
I don't think so either, and I think reviews are going to come out and they'll probably say parrot exactly what I just said. Is why is this open world?
There will be people that like it, I'm sure. But
I appreciated when Aisha Tyler sat down to interview somebody for the Assassin's Creed movie. I don't remember who, and then her overshirt covered up just enough of her classically trained shirt so that it said ass train. Oh my god, I had to pause those streams so I could take a picture of that and post it on Twitter and just go ass train.
Yeah, I didn't see that part.
But overall, they showed some good stuff. The movies didn't need to be there, and they could have cut 45 minutes of this out. Because it dragged, man. Sony's conference was awesome.
Yeah, they had a great one.
It was packed full of games, and it was like an hour long, and they didn't waste any time. They didn't waste their time talking about statistics or tech specs or anything like that. I was surprised they didn't show off any their new hardware, though.
Well, from what I was reading, that it sounds like they kind of got wind of Microsoft's and just how fucking powerful that thing is, and they put theirs back on the drawing board a little bit. Because I don't think nothing I've been reading and listening and hearing people talk, like people in the industry, sounds like the Neo was going to be on par with that thing, and they obviously, competition, so I think it's going back on the drawing board for a little bit.
But, okay, they started off with a live symphony, which was cool as shit.
That was awesome, yeah.
And they started playing this music, and it's not something you recognize, but Bear McCreary is directing, which was awesome.
Yeah,
and
it's great.
And they're showing no gameplay footage just doing the symphony, and you're like, what the hell's going on? And then the screen lights up, and they show this little kid sitting there playing and stuff. And then it pans backwards, and bam! Bearded Kratos.
Yep, the whole place went crazy. It was awesome.
It was a great way to reveal that you're working on a new God of War. And this is a different God of War. I gotta wonder how fans are going to respond to this, because this was slower paced, more methodical, looked like being a dad as part of gameplay.
What I think is that that's not going to be a true representation of most of the game. I mean, God of War, like, if the game is slowed down that much, I don't see that personally. I think there will be sections like that, but
yeah,
I knew the world, because the way he was walking around and then like he walked in that temple and like kind of discovered it. I wonder if it's going to be set up kind of like the previous couple Tomb Raider games where you have like kind of the big interconnected world.
That would be cool as shit.
I think.
With the way he was interacting with the kid and everything, it reminded me a little bit of The Last of Us. Like, did you guys go and talk to Naughty Dog for a little bit before you made this game? Because I kind of think you did.
It was very well directed. And Kratos doesn't seem like the most patient dad. I don't think he's going to be getting a World's Greatest Dad coffee cup today.
He'll just get a coffee cup that says Dad.
Right. Thanks a lot, asshole. But it was fucking awesome. I'm really glad. Like, one, he looks insanely cool, old with a beard.
Yeah, that beard works for Kratos, and I'm excited for it. And what they showed made it look like at least you'll be playing at least part of the time as the kid, which would be cool. I mean, I think
it'll be very brief, small segments.
They did that with The Last of Us, because there's a section of that game where you play as Ellie, and it was awesome. So I'm not opposed to playing as the kid if they do it right.
No, I mean, as long as it's very small sections, little bits. I mean, I'm showing up for Kratos.
Yeah, everybody's showing up for Kratos, but
I'm glad that they didn't show the Blades of Chaos. I loved his new axe that he was using. Sorry, and just the overall design of it. Everything very Viking-esque. I mean, I know this is kind of based on Norse gods, which is going to be really cool.
Yeah, he didn't even have the Blades of Chaos. Like, they weren't even attached to his arm like they usually are.
Right, which I liked. I'm like, oh man, this is cool. And I'm sure they'll probably make it. You'll probably get to use them, which will be fun. But that axe that he was using was so cool. I could use that for the whole game and be happy.
Yeah, it looked awesome, and it looked like a bit of a departure from the typical God of War, which I'm not against.
No.
You know, you can change things up and still make it feel right and still make it fun and awesome. It is possible. There have been plenty of examples of that in the past. I mean, look at Fallout 1 and 2, and then look at Fallout 3 and how amazing that turned out and how different it is.
Yeah, I think it's going to be incredible. I mean, that fight with that troll was fucking awesome. And how he, like, the more pissed off he gets, his Spartan rage meter fills up. Like, oh, that's awesome.
They showed off a brief trailer for The Last Guardian. And the only reason they did that is because The Last Guardian has a release date.
Yeah, pretty weird.
Oh god, it made me so happy that it's finally got a release date. Like, I have been wanting, like, we've all been lusting after this game for what, 8-9 years now?
Yeah, and I'm kind of to the point now where it was like, okay, it has a release date. Yeah, I know I'm going to play it.
I'm just glad it's got a release date. It's finally coming out. Like, it's finally within our grasp. About fucking time.
Yeah, for sure.
They showed off a good chunk of gameplay for, Horizon Zero Dawn.
Yeah, that looks awesome.
Hell yes, it does. Like, you're fighting robot dinosaurs with bows powered by electricity and shit.
It looks really cool. It's gonna be. So I'm gonna at the end. I'll do like a game of the show, and then my top maybe 3 or 4 other picks, and that's gonna be up there because that game really looks awesome.
It really does, and I am really excited for this one. And it's from the guys that did the Killzone games, and this looks so drastically different and imaginative, like, compared to the Killzone games, which is awesome in my book. Like, if you guys want to stretch out your wings and do something completely different, and it looks this awesome, I'm all for it.
I know if they would have brought out another Killzone game, I might have shot myself. I'm so glad they're doing something different.
Yeah, so am I, and which is nothing against Killzone. I enjoyed the hell out of 2 and 3, but
Sony showed a trailer for that Days Gone, which looks really, really awesome.
Yeah, Days Gone. When they first started showing the trailer, I was like, "This is The Last of Us 2, isn't it? This is The Last of Us 2," and then it was, and I was like, "Wow, I was expecting The Last of Us 2."
Yeah, like I was really confused at first, but it looks awesome.
But that got really impressive when they ended the show with it. With the actual gameplay.
That gameplay. Which, obviously, some of the stuff in the gameplay, I think the AI was turned way down. Because, they want to show the game off, so I'm cool with that. The demo itself was fucking awesome. I mean, if that's a small slice of the game, sign my ass up.
Yeah, they had so many zombies running around and moving on screen that it put Dead Rising to shame.
Very World War Z like.
It was goddamn impressive how many moving zombies they had on screen for that demo. David Cage showed off his new Quantic Dreams game.
Was it Detroit or something?
Detroit Almost Human, Detroit Becoming Human, Detroit Kinda Human-ish, something like that.
I mean, it could be cool. I wasn't like jumping up and down.
Neither was I, but it was there, so we got to talk. We have to talk about it at least.
It could be really good. Who knows?
It looks decent. It doesn't look mind-blowing. It looks like another David Cage game. So if you like David Cage's previous stuff, like Heavy Rain and Indigo Prophecy and whatever the hell the Omicron for the Dreamcast.
Oh god.
With David Bowie.
Yeah, I remember. I loved that game.
He did that one too. So if you like those kinds of things, you'll probably like it. It didn't particularly make my hair stand up on end, but it looked cool.
Yeah, I'll give it the benefit of the doubt. It could be really cool, so I definitely wouldn't mind trying it out.
They spent a lot of time showing off VR, and I've never been more convinced that VR might be cool than I am now because of all the stuff Sony showed off.
Yeah, I wish it wasn't $399.
Yeah, even then, even at $399, it's cheaper than the other ones, which will tell you how expensive VR is. If
I was going to get one, I would get the Sony. I'm not... It looks cool. Some of the stuff about VR kind of throws me off, how it's done. Because I know they were showing a couple of game things, and they were showing where, like, oh, you're in the VR world, you have to point your cursor over here, and you teleport, and that's how you move around. Like, well, can't I just move the fuck around when I have to teleport? But
yeah, but they showed off some. But what really caught my attention was some of the things they showed off, like X-Wing Mission VR, where you're piloting an X-Wing with a VR. You still there?
Yeah.
That looked really cool to me because who the hell doesn't want to fly an X-Wing? You know?
Oh, I know. That'll be fucking awesome. I don't 100% know if I'll be able to use VR because I don't know how it works. So, like, 3D, because I'm blind in one eye, I can't see in 3D, so there's just no use for it for me, right?
Yeah.
So VR, like, I just don't fucking know. Like, I would have to try one, you know, and I'm like, where the fuck am I going to go to try one?
They showed off, I don't know either, man. They showed off a first-person shooter that I'm trying to remember the name of it. They showed off guys hunting on this desert planet and stuff like that, and the name of it's escaping me, but it looked cool.
Yeah, God damn it, I don't know if it starts with an F. I can't remember the name of it.
But you do remember what I'm talking about.
Yeah, it looked cool.
The big one that made everybody guffaw was Resident Evil 7 VR.
Yeah, that was pretty crazy.
This is something they actually showed off privately last year, and it was just this horror demo called Kitchen, and they didn't tell anybody really what it was. They didn't let anybody take any gameplay footage or record anything. In fact, they barely even let people talk about it. Just everybody seemed to be convinced that it was basically the scariest fucking thing ever made. But
You can download that demo now and play it.
Yeah, Resident Evil 7 and is coming, and it will be a horror game where they had kind of moved away from horror, especially with 5 and 6. And
I'm all for it.
I'm all for it being horror, and people are complaining, and I don't know why.
Well, there's like people want the mix. Like, Resident Evil 4 was pretty much the perfect game.
Yeah, it was.
So it's kind of like, if you're not going to get that, then people are going to be upset. So I see why they're complaining. I don't think they should complain, because it's like, just give it a chance. They said that what they showed isn't even going to be in the fucking game. That's like that's not in Resident Evil 7. That's it's a demo. It's kind of getting you ready for it. You can download and play it, but that's not part of the game.
Do you know if it's exclusive to Sony's console?
I don't know. I doubt it.
Because they showed it on their stage, it made me wonder. They didn't say one way or the other, but it really made me wonder if it might be exclusive to Sony's console.
It might be. I don't know.
They set this up perfectly, because they had the guy walk up. One guy, I don't remember who it was. Had one guy walk up on stage, and his shadow was Crash Bandicoot.
Yep.
And then it walked up, and it's like Crash Bandicoot standing behind him. And I'm like, oh shit, we're getting a new Crash game.
They were playing the music too.
And Naughty Dog is going to develop. And then that wasn't what they announced. And I'm not against what they announced, because a remastered version of Crash 1, 2, and 3 for the PlayStation 4 sounds awesome to me.
I will buy that day one, the second it comes out. However, I gotta say, I was bummed out that it wasn't a new Crash game.
Yeah, same here. I was kind of hoping Naughty Dog would be developing a new one, but they're not.
However, I think that this is gonna. I definitely think this is Sony testing the waters
to see if the audience is there. And the audience in the theater went nuts the moment they heard the music.
Yeah, I know. To me, it's something people have been wanting this for years, to where I don't really think they need to test the waters, so to speak. I mean, I think they could put one out and it'll be really successful, but I understand why they're doing it, I guess.
And they also announced, and I don't personally care about this because I don't play Skylanders, but Crash is coming to Skylanders.
Yeah.
So you'll have both Spyro and Crash in the same game, and I realize that happened on Game Boy Advance games back in the day, but nobody cares about that.
I still love those games.
Yeah. But they didn't, they were largely ignored back then.
Yeah.
But,
I'm
yeah,
glad
Crash...
back.
Yeah, I'm excited that he's back. I'm hoping that we'll get a new game developed by Naughty Dog or even Insomniac. Insomniac had a new game.
Insomniac's been busy because they showed off an incredible looking Spider-Man game.
Yeah, they showed off like exclusive to PlayStation 4 Spider-Man, developed by not Insomniac, and I was like, Insomniac's developing a Spider-Man game? That is so fucking awesome.
Yeah, oh man, I'm so excited for it. The trailer was awesome.
Yeah, it was. The only thing that trailer was missing was Stan Lee, you know? And you have to have Stan Lee in there somewhere. He's got to make a cameo because that's what Stan Lee does.
Yeah, they better do it quick. Stan's not getting any younger.
Yeah. He's amazingly sharp-witted for how old he is.
Yeah, no. Well, he just did he's doing his last conference appearance. He's what, 93? Jesus.
Yeah, something like that. He was recently at Texas Rangers game because they had the Dallas Comic Con. He showed up for that, and they invited him out to throw out the first pitch, and they interviewed him during the game. And they usually do these quick, like, in between pitches, 30-second interview with the fans or whatever. No, they sat down with him like the entire half inning and just talked to him. It was awesome. But that's beside the point. Spider-Man is coming to PlayStation 4, and we're finally going to get a good Spider-Man game because Insomniac is developing it, and that's all they know how to do is make good games.
Yep, it's gonna rock.
It's in good hands. I have faith that it will be good. Kojima came out up on stage.
Yeah.
And he announced a new game called Death Stranding, and they showed off a weird-ass trailer for it that didn't have any gameplay. But the big deal with this one is Norman Reedus is going to star in it, and I don't remember if people remember, but Norman Reedus was going to star in a new Silent Hill game.
Yep.
So this might be like a version of that game.
Yeah, I mean, it could be cool. I don't know. It just didn't really. I wasn't really excited when I saw it.
What excites me is the potential that this is basically going to be Silent Hill under a different name.
Yeah, it could be really cool. I mean, obviously Kojima knows what the fuck he's doing, but at the same time, that game is so fucking far away that it's even talk about it.
Yeah. What else did they show off? New Call of Duty. They showed off that.
It looked awesome.
Yeah, and I thought they did this in a brilliant way because they showed off a bunch of like spaceship battles and stuff that in no way resembles anything you've ever seen from the Call of Duty franchise. And they didn't tell you that it was Call of Duty until the very end. Yeah. So they were trying to gather people's interest before they let you know what it was.
It looked like a ridiculous amount of fun. That really looked cool.
Yeah, it does. And I think that was a smart way of doing it because otherwise people would just kind of groan like they did last year, like, oh, God, no, I gotta do this. I know,
and I'm actually legitimately excited for this one.
And it looked far better than the lame-ass trailer they showed.
Yeah, I know. So much better.
But yeah, overall, extremely good action-packed conference from Sony. Showed off one game after another. It was non-stop for an hour, and they wasted no time.
Closing with the Days Gone demo, I thought was pretty cool to kind of give that because it's Sony Ben's developing it, right?
Yeah.
That was cool. The demo was great. I knew it was an interesting way to close the show, but I actually liked it because you open with God of War, which was just fucking incredible, and then kind of give this new one some time to shine at the end. Yeah.
They showed off some kind of weird looking VR experience type thing for Final Fantasy 15 as well. And I don't even know what that was. It was confusing.
No idea.
The last thing was Nintendo, and they only showed off two things.
Yep.
They showed off Pokemon, which they spent way too goddamn long on, and Zelda.
Zelda looks incredible. I think it went on too long, but
if you're gonna have two games, you don't need an hour. Right. You know, this is the problem with only bringing two games.
Zelda looks incredible, and I'm not gonna buy it for Wii U because I want to get the next console, the NX. They said it's gonna launch on that, so I'm just gonna wait.
Yeah, it does look incredible. I thought they spent way too goddamn long talking about Pokemon because they would spend like 5 minutes just talking about improved lighting. Like nobody cares, you know.
I mean, those Pokemon games, I'm gonna get it. I think I'm getting this post-Sun. I think I'm gonna play the shit out of it, but. Yeah, I didn't really need to see. Like, I know what I'm getting into, you know? I know what to expect. I know exactly what I want.
Yeah. And, like, I get that you want to show off new features, but I swear to God, they spent 5 minutes on each new feature that they showed off, and it just dragged. But the new Zelda looks fucking phenomenal.
It does look awesome. It does look awesome. Yeah, it does.
It looks like Zelda went and had a fucked up flipper baby with the Elder Scrolls, and I'm okay with that.
Right. Yeah, I know. It's like I don't even know how to describe it. It looks incredible. I mean, I can't wait to play it. Like I said, I'm gonna wait until the new system comes out to get it.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
That's what I'm telling myself. But we'll see how I can hold out. Might be purchasing the game twice, but I'm definitely going to try and wait for the new system to play the game on. But it looks fucking incredible. I'm really excited for it.
Yeah, did it remind you of the Elder Scrolls? Because it sure did me.
It did, yeah. I mean, it doesn't look like it's going to be that heavily detailed, you know?
Yeah, it doesn't, but the open world and the structure of it and how you just run around and discover all these ruins and everything just was like, man, this really looks like your Zelda, your Link rather, running around in the Elder Scrolls world. And I was like, okay, you've got me excited. This looks awesome.
Yep. Yeah, can't wait.
And this actually, like, you can pick up enemy weapons and stuff, which is really cool because he used a spear, he used a sword and shield, he used an axe, and all of them are handled differently. And they showed off some fire physics too that really reminded me of, I don't know if you played it, but Far Cry 2.
Probably, I think so, yeah.
The Far Cry 2 fire physics were incredible because if you set fire to a tree, it would go down the trunk,
right,
and it would set the grass on fire, and then it would start spreading out from there. And if there was a village nearby, all their buildings would suddenly be ablaze. And they showed that. They showed fire spreading across grassland and stuff, and I was like, okay, this looks amazing. It looks like a different take on Zelda, and I'm excited for that.
Oh, trust me, I'm more than excited for the game. I mean, I've been waiting. What was the last one? Was it
Skyward Sword?
Skyward Sword. It just didn't do it for me.
Yeah, a lot of people said that about Skyward Sword. I haven't played it.
Twilight Princess was incredible.
I love Twilight Princess.
Skyward Sword felt more like a demo to me. It just didn't feel like a true Zelda game. So I'm so ready for this new one.
I've heard the one on the 3DS, the sequel to the Link to the Past, was amazing.
It is, yeah. Any Zelda on 3DS is incredible.
Yeah, I'm glad they gave it a more traditional control scheme because that was what kept me from playing the Zeldas on the regular DS, was they refused to give it a normal control scheme.
I fucking love my 3DS. That thing's awesome.
But this new one looks really, really amazing. And that's really all there is to talk about with Nintendo is Zelda looks amazing, spent too long on Pokemon.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to get both. So that's pretty much where I'm at with Nintendo.
I was glad that most of the conferences held a moment of silence or whatever for the horrible tragedy that took place in Orlando just before E3.
Yeah, I think they pretty much had to do that. I mean, they're celebrating, video games. So.
And I don't want to get too deep into that because then we'll get into political discussions and need to do about ISIS and all that kind of stuff. And I don't want to go there. But rest in peace to everyone that was killed. Thoughts and prayers go out to everybody involved and the families and friends of everybody involved. We're all thinking about you. You know? Probably should have started the show off with that, but I didn't.
Yeah, alright.
Now we talk about everything. Wrap it up, I suppose. You wanted to do what?
I think we should each do a game of the show. I'm gonna say like my top 3 games and then my game of the show for it.
Okay, go ahead.
My top 3 are going God of War, Horizon Zero Dawn, and then I'm gonna pick Gears 4.
And then my overall game of the show, I didn't even talk about yet, but is Mafia 3.
I don't remember seeing that on any of the stages.
It wasn't on the press. I mean, it's been shown. There was a lot of gameplay and trailers for it at E3, and it looks so goddamn incredible that I'm insanely excited for that game.
Yeah, I would have to agree with you on Horizon Zero Dawn and God of War. I think I'd throw Zelda in there because I'm super excited for that one as well.
Yeah, it's a tough call. I mean, there's so many good ones. It's kind of hard to pick. I was kind of debating Gears and Zelda. I went back and forth on, but I'm so ready for this new Gears game, and I've had so much amount of fun over the past few years with that series, and I'm really excited.
Yeah, you're a much bigger Gears fan than I am. Not that I think the series is bad. You're just a much bigger fan than I am.
Yeah, I love it.
So I would go God of War, Horizon Zero Dawn, which kind of reminds me of Far Cry Primal, but better.
Yeah.
Not that Far Cry Primal is bad. This just looks better. And The Legend of Zelda, Call of the Wild, Breath of the Wild.
Yeah, Breath of the Wild.
Yeah, Breath of the Wild. And the game of the show. Fuck. I have to think about that. Because there's a lot of amazing things.
Yeah, it's a crazy show.
And my biggest surprise of the show was that Insomniac is developing a Spider-Man game. So
yeah, that one was surprising. I didn't see that coming.
I don't think anybody saw that coming. God, game of the show's tough, dude. The Kojima fanboy in me wants to say Death Stranded, but we didn't see anything about it. So.
Yeah, no gameplay at all. I mean, that's a 20. I wouldn't be surprised if that's a 2020 game.
Yeah, but I will freely admit to being a Kojima fanboy. I don't usually admit to being a fanboy of anything, but yeah, I am a Kojima fanboy.
He's amazing.
He is. And he's got a great sense of humor, too. Did you see what he tweeted after the show?
No.
Was over? He tweeted a Photoshop version of the Death Stranded logo that said Norman Reedus and the Funky Fetus. I had a good laugh at that. He's always had a good sense of humor, though. I mean, they had the time paradox things that were in the Metal Gear Solid 3 Subsistence, where Raiden was trying to get rid of Snake so he could be the main character. And he kept screwing up, and then the Colonel kept yelling at him about creating a time paradox. It's fucking great. Oh, God. Game of the show. God, that's so hard. I hadn't thought about it prior, so...
I kept thinking, I don't know why I have to pick that Mafia game, because I'm so fucking excited for that. The time period, the setting, it looks like a ton of fun. I cannot wait to play it.
Mm-hmm. I'm almost tempted to just say God of War is my game of the show.
Oh, I wouldn't blame you. I mean,
it looks incredible. Yeah, I think I'm just going to go with that. It looks amazing. And is Barry McCreary doing the music for that one, or was he just doing live music for their show?
They didn't say anything about the score. I don't think he will.
Then again, he has done smaller projects in the past that would really surprise. I mean, he did the music for the Angry Video Game Nerd movie. No clue how the hell that happened.
I know, that's awesome.
And his version of the Angry Video Game Nerd theme is fucking epic.
Yeah.
Oh god, it's getting choppy again. This E3 was a lot better than I think both of you and I were expecting it to be, though.
Yeah, it was. I was expecting a pretty middle of the road kind of basic one, but there was a lot to it.
Yeah, especially from Sony and Microsoft. They really had
Yeah,
good conferences.
They both knocked it out of the park. I think they both set themselves up for even next year to come out really strong. So it's going to be a good time. Expensive time, but it's a good time.
One last thing. Who do you think had the best conference this year?
Man, I went back and forth on this all day between Sony and Microsoft. And I keep leaning towards Microsoft just for the fact that they actually announced Project Scorpio. However, I'm going to give I think I'm going to give the slight edge to Sony with just the way it was presented with the orchestra, and then goddamn, it was really good.
Yeah, I would give a slight edge to Sony as well, mostly because theirs was better paced, I think, than Microsoft was, because Microsoft had the longer conference, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but it does mean they wound up having parts that were slower and parts that I really didn't think need to be there, like Minecraft.
Yes, there's a couple little things like that. Just kind of, I'm like, okay, just kind of waiting for that to be over. But overall, I would give them an A and Sony an A plus. I'm thinking.
Yeah, I think this might be the first year that I would give them both an A and Sony an A plus, but definitely Microsoft an A.
They were pretty neck and great.
I'm hoping that we'll get a proper conference next year from Nintendo when they actually show off the damn NX. I
think they will. I mean, they're going to be launching a console the following holiday from next year's E3, so they're going to have a conference showing the console and the launch game, what it can do, and I think the console is going to put into the new handheld, so I think they're going to have a lot of information.
Yeah. I saw an interview with Reggie Fils-Aimé where he said the same thing about this console that he did about the Wii U, where basically said, we're not focused on power, we're not worried about having the best tech specs and the best graphics and stuff, and we're like, you just did this, and you got your ass kicked. Don't make the same mistake again. So I'm kind of worried. I'm kind of worried that they might not have learned much from the failure of the Wii U. Oh, you know what we didn't mention that really excited me? Zelda has voice acting.
Right.
Which it made me happy because a lot of people will say, oh, it doesn't really need voice acting, but I always felt like the fact that, like, Twilight Princess, for example, doesn't have voice acting kind of made it feel a bit dated.
Right. Yeah, I think it'll be cool. Yeah. I don't know. To me, Zelda doesn't really need it. I think it'll be interesting. Yeah.
One more note before we go is a lot of people compared the way Link woke up in that to the Weapon X product because he woke up in this slab with a pool of water and everything. A lot of people just made the connection to Weapon X, and I thought that was funny.
Unfortunately, he probably doesn't go full on berserker and just start ripping people apart with claws.
Doesn't have adamantium claws.
Hugh Jackman's choosing.
And Hugh Jackman was even as good as Ian McKellen and Patrick Stewart were. Hugh Jackman was the best part of the X-Men films.
Yeah, he's great.
Anyway, we really need to go. We're probably gone over time by now, so, and it's getting shitty and choppy again. So, thank you everybody for listening. We'll talk to you guys whenever we get time to do another podcast. Hopefully, we'll be doing one about Nintendo and how this generation just sucked to be them, and hopefully, we'll be doing one about the PlayStation 2 and how amazing it is, and then we'll go on from there and see what we do. Thank you everybody for listening. Please, I don't know where I'm going with this. Thanks everybody, and we'll talk to you next time. Bye everybody.
just a